This
Yeah, my
call is
understanding
now
has shown
being
everyone
recorded. This call is
we
now
can
taking
all
notes.
follow through. Can we all see the screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, so today I'll just get to understanding. I'll get to explain and make us understand that ghostwriting goes beyond a lot of things that a lot of people think about. It's not centered particularly on just one particular topic. Because sometimes when I talk about ghostwriting, or let me say my own personal experience now, before I started, and I was just like, oh, I have books, I read books, I'm interested in writing books. Oh, I wrote a book when I was 16 years old. Oh, I wrote a book when I was 15 years old. I didn't really know anything beyond that. I didn't know there was anything called ghostwriting. If anybody had told me what ghostwriting was, I probably would have thought it was one drastic, just because of the name, just one drastic, huge deal. But it's a whole lot easy if you just calm down, listen, and just like understand what it's all about. Now, my own personal experience was that when I got to find out about ghostwriting, I was like, oh, the only thing I do is I write stories, Barbie related stories, especially if you grew up watching a lot of Barbie movies, you definitely get inspiration and you just have this crazy imagination that I can definitely write this particular story if I just like use a little bit of my imagination. And eventually you do, if you're serious about it, obviously. You do. And then I was like, oh, I have a book. Oh, I'm a writer. And then one of my bigger older brothers, I said bigger because it's like way, way, way older than I am. It would like constantly mention the fact that I'm a ghostwriter. And I would get scared. Like, no, I'm a writer. I'm a writer. I'm just a writer. I don't know what ghostwriting means. It feels like it's too complicated. I'm a writer and that's it. Now, growing up, I understand that it's a whole new spectrum, and it's honestly not that even it's not that deep, it's not that difficult. And today I'll be walking us through the intricacies and the common misconceptions, and if we have enough time, we'll also touch up how you can get your clients. If you're in class, can you please signify? Just like unmute yourself up and just say I'm here. Hello.
I'm here. Yeah. Hi, Temi.
Wonderful. Hi.
I'm
Thank you so
here.
much for following. Thank you. So, today's topic is understanding the industry, the money, and your role. So it's basically just how it works, how the money comes in, and the particular role that you're supposed to play. So, we're not just understanding how ghostwriting works, we're also learning how to get paid. So, this is a motivational class. I'm going to just clear everybody's mind. I'm not trying to motivate anyone. I'm just trying to like make us see that this is not as deep as some people think. It's a professional skill building space. It's we are not cheating, we are not selling out or hiding anything. This is a strictly service based writing. So what is ghostwriting? Ghostwriting is the act of writing content that is credited to another person with consent, compensation, and confidentiality. So you write the work, someone else owns and publishes it, and you get paid. Honestly, it's very very sweet money if you ask me, because like it's not your work. You're basically putting your talent out there. Somebody's like, okay, I have this idea. I want you to like bring it to life. You don't own it. Nobody knows that you wrote the book for the person, but you get paid. Like it's honestly a huge flex if you ask me. Like your name's not attached publicly. It is totally legal. It is very ethical. You don't need to have to write a contract before you're like, oh my god, there's this contract that I wrote for this person. If I should divulge this information, they're actually NDA forms. I understand that. They're NDAs, and that's reasonable. But ghostwriting isn't necessarily all about that. It's only if the person wants to be extremely, secretive and is really passionate about not letting any other person know that is the person that is not the one that wrote that particular piece. But aside that, if you're being very realistic, I have a book. I want you to write my book, but I'm not going to put your name in it. And I just tell you, okay, hi, I have a book. I want you to help me to write it, but I don't want you to tell anybody that you know. where the mistake would be is if the person now tells you that, I want you to tell me to write a book, I won't put your name, and you don't collect your money. No, that's you're not monetizing your skill. You're basically doing charity work. And in this time and age, it's 2026, you need to wake up. We don't do that here. So if you have the talent, you have the know-how, the technical know-how, you have, you know, the opportunity to write. And somebody says, okay, I want you to help me to write this particular book, and I want you to not put your name on it. That's like the next question should be, oh, sure, no problem. I mean, the fact that you even have, the confidence in me, and you just like think like feel that I can help you to write this thing. That's already a huge deal. Now let's talk about money. You know, that's how it should be. Moving on. It is very common, and if you've ever written something for someone else and did not put your name on it, you are officially a ghost writer. One of the most common misconceptions is that ghostwriting automatically belongs to people who write novels and biographies, and I kid you not, that is actually a thing. It wasn't until maybe 2024 for me that I was like, oh, content creators, like content writers, are actually ghostwriters too. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, it doesn't sound as serious when you tell me it's a content writer that is involved now. But like when I was, growing up, I'm like, oh, it's a novel, and they didn't write the person's name, and it's another person that wrote it for the person. I was like, oh, that's a huge deal, like, wow, it's a novel. The person wrote the person's biography. Wow. And then you're telling me that you can also do that for, posts and blogs and articles, and I'm like, meh. And I eventually grew up, I found a way to understand every single thing, and trust me, it is sweet money. Now, this is where they have it wrong. There are several niches or genres of ghostwriting. It is not restricted to only people who write books and biographies. Some niches have categories. They are classified. Some of them are classified into book writing. That's the memoirs, biographies, fiction, non-fiction, self-help books. Those people they're always like, now, for example, now I want to have this particular book about this. Let's use a gospel singer or a gospel. Let's say a pastor, for example. Is there anyone that can actually prove? I'm not disputing the fact that she wrote her own book. Oh, she definitely did, but it could have also been a ghostwriter, and you would never know. For example, Caitlin Kuma. How do you want to prove that she was the one that wrote her own books? She could have just told somebody else a story, a life story. She could have said, "Okay, I did this, I did that, this happened, this happened, that, and then I want you to tell me to write my book." Now, the issue, the thing now is you cannot say, okay, for particular, you cannot particularly say she gave it to somebody. You can't, because she owns it. Until somebody comes up and they're like, okay, this is proof, this is evidence. I think that's just terrible. But like, you can't necessarily prove that she was the one that wrote it, even though she was the one that wrote it. I'm just trying to cite an instance here. I really hope we understand. So books like that, they are categorized under book writing. Then we have content and corporate ghostwriting. Those are the blog posts, the articles, LinkedIn posts, speeches, thought leadership content. Because let's be realistic, it's not every single opportunity that you see, or it's not every single time you see on LinkedIn, for example, now, and you're like, Aliko Dangote posted today. He posted in the evening. Then he posted yet tomorrow. And then he posted in the evening. He doesn't have the time. He has somebody doing all of that for him. Now, some people rather call that their personal assistant. Mm, that makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, it could also be somebody that is paying. You understand? You can't just write things for somebody like Alugo Dangote online, somebody that's not even having the time and expect not to get paid. That's not done. Do you understand? If that was how he did his things, it wouldn't be a businessman, a huge businessman like he is today. So, the second slide. Yeah, I already said that. I think I already said this too. Right. Now we have the professional documents, that's the white papers, the business documents, we have the research summaries, we have personal statements, and then songwriting. You guys will not believe me when I tell you that I found out that songwriting was ghostwriting, was a classification of ghostwriting in 2025. And I've been writing for years. Professionally, I've been writing for about 3, 4 years now. but I didn't put it out there. I was basically just honing my skill and honing and honing and honing. So me finding out, I've been writing since I was a child. So me finding out that songwriting is an aspect of ghostwriting, just that was like the biggest discovery for me in 2025. I found out late, so you don't have to. Now I'm telling you, if you're a singer and you actually write songs and you write it like a whole lot, yeah, you can get paid for that. Honestly, I'm not even going to gatekeep for you right now. Last year when I made my first, because I don't have like, 9 to 5 like that. So when I made my first, is that 6 digit? Yeah, 6 digit last year. It was because I wrote song for somebody. It was because I wrote a song for someone, and I was like, "Oh, so this is easy." Now, this is by the grace of God, this is very easy for me. Writing songs comes super, super easy, and like the no matter the kind of song you want to rap, I will write it for you, okay? But I didn't think I could monetize that. In my own sense of monetizing was, you go to the studio, you record a song, you put it out there, you put it for publications, people call you for shows. Honey, if you're like me, who doesn't like do that whole show thing, or Johnny Drew's life, for example, that I could have gone by because I'm a very, very shy person. Like there's something like that, but you really love to write and you love to sing and you've not gotten the opportunity to go into the studio. My dear, start writing your songs and put it out there that you're a songwriter. Owning that particular niche already is a huge deal. Just owning the fact that you write and everybody knows you, that okay, this particular person writes, like she's a singer and she actually writes really good songs. That's all, you're already okay, you're good to go. And the mind blowing thing is this is actually a whole lot of money. Honestly speaking, what a lot of people make in Nigeria, like the average salary in Nigeria, you can honestly make if you're very, 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 like very serious about it and you want to, like, expand your business and you started, you're very, very serious about it. Honestly, ghostwriting will get you millions in less than a month. And that's not exaggerating. I wrote first, I did not even write the full song. What I wrote was a verse and a chorus, and I got paid 150K because that time that's what I was charging, and that made a lot of sense. Like it was perfect. And I will not lie to you, it's still a huge deal for me because after that, like they just kept coming. And that's the thing. Once you get a particular customer and the person can vouch for you, okay, this person does something like this, the person wrote this kind of song for me, and I think she's really good. They'll keep offering it to many people because nobody wants to get keep it like that. I don't think people really get keep people like that in 2026. Do you understand? So please, if you are following, can you please say we are following?
I'm following.
Thank you so much. Okay, so some people didn't have the idea that songwriting is a kind of ghost is classified under ghostwriting at all.
I'm
And
following.
oh, thank you so much. And some would rather call themselves songwriters than ghostwriters. This was a like big topic. This was like huge deal. Like it's something similar to what I said. When I was growing up, I didn't want to be called a ghostwriter. It was just like weird. I was just like, I'm a writer. Oh, I'm an author. It just felt better. It felt exquisite. It felt classy, But now I don't even think I care about how classy it sounds. As long as it makes me, money. So songwriting is a major ghostwriting niche, writing lyrics for artists, writing hooks for choruses, writing full songs credited to someone else, co-writing without public credit, selling song concepts or drafts. Many of the songs you love were written by people whose names you will never see. And that is very, very true. There's some songs growing up, I found out that it was not the person that sang them that wrote them. And that's a big thing in the music industry. Moving on. Now, songwriting, okay, your job is to capture voice, emotion, and sound. Performance and writing are not the same job. They are two very, very different things, especially in this concept. This is not about erasing your artistry. It has nothing to do with that. Actually, rather than even erasing your artistry, it puts you out there. Like it basically announces it. So you're a writer, you feel, oh, if I write for this person and they don't put my name there, I'm not really going anywhere. My dear, why don't you just make your money comfortably, yeah? And when you want to actually announce that you're big, then do it. You don't have to say, oh, I want to be. If now let me just put this out there. If you want fame and you want um people to pay attention to you, people to notice the fact that you're a writer, trust me, ghostwriting is not for you. Trust me. Ghostwriting basically has to do with the fact that you would most likely be in, like, you will not be recognized. You won't be recognized at all. Like, that's just the idea of the job. Nobody would know you were the one that wrote it. But you get money, you know. So if you're looking for fame, looking for some kind of means to announce the fact that, oh, I'm a writer, just don't come to ghostwriting. You can still write and be an author, a pronounced author. That's amazing. Okay, we are not looking down on that kind of, you know, profession. But if you want that kind of fame and you're in ghostwriting, honey, it's not for you. Okay, so we need to clear your mind. I'm going to put it to you straight and very, very clear, and I will not mince words for you. All right, moving on. Why do people hire ghostwriters? Now, before I dive into this, does anybody have any idea? Does anybody want to like talk? Go first. Why do you think people hire ghostwriters?
They want a quality work product provided, but they don't want to not be they don't want to not be recognized for producing or providing that quality product.
Well, that's perfect. That's honestly perfect. Now the thing is, to buttress that, they want to do it. They don't have the skills. They don't have enough time. They don't have, okay, yeah, there's no time, no skill, no structure, and they need a very, very good job. They need to polish it. They need to be consistent. They need with their work, but they can't provide that. But they know that you can, so they hire you. Do you understand? So now for them, you need to understand that for them to even look at you and say, okay, I want to hire this person for this kind of job, you need to like have proven yourself. And honestly, sometimes you don't even have to prove yourself in a kind of Merlin kind of prove yourself. Like, I'm going to prove myself to the king. No, that's not how it works here. If you want to prove yourself in this way, they've seen your work. They've seen that you write. You don't have to announce to the entire world that, oh, hey, everybody, I'm a ghostwriter. That doesn't necessarily like prove that. That's not what they want. But you're like, oh, I write for like I write strictly for female entrepreneurs, or I write strictly for singers. Like, they will come to you. You don't even have to announce. They'll come to you once you tell everyone, okay, I'm writing, I'm this, I write, I do this, I do that. They're like, okay, okay. And so I'm going to text you, I'm going to ask you to do something. And then this is a little they gain your trust. You understand? So yes, the time is not always available because most of these people are honestly huge people in the industry. Sometimes they don't have time. Some people are mothers. Some are not still mothers. Some of them are busy with work. Some are busy with life. But they want to, like, put something out there, and they have the money. So I have the money now. Yeah, I want to write a book about myself, but like I don't know how to start. And I'm like, I'm just call. I want to call someone. Just, do you have anybody? Like, refer me to someone. Refer someone to me, and then they give you the person's number. You talk to the person. Business goes underway. You don't need to sign it. You don't need to sign any NDA. That's not compulsory. Okay. But like, if it comes to that, please do, because trust me, your clients in this situation, your clients know best. For them to pick you, yeah, they actually know best. So yeah, not everybody has the time, the skill, the structure, and they definitely need their work to be top notch. And they feel that you can deliver that, and that's why they do. So, um, yeah, we're moving on. Clients are not stealing they're not stealing your talent. They're outsourcing a service. You are a service provider in this situation. You're not the star. As I said initially, if you want the fame, you want the attention, trust me, this is not for you. Your clients are the star. They're the ones you need to satisfy in this. But yeah, there's always something about client customers are always right. In this profession, we put that on our head. They are 100% right. Okay, they are making them shine. This is not your time to shine. You can shine in your other niches or other areas, but right now, your clients come first. So you're not emotionally attached to credits. In fact, you must not be attached to the work because you'll be tempted to take credit for it. Trust me. And that's the thing. You're like, oh my god, this is so nice. This is so like I wrote this and this is really, really nice. You know what? I'm going to write another one. First off, you're wasting time. You've gotten sidetracked. You've gotten attached, which is something you would never do to a particular piece. So don't like put your heart into it. That's basically how you can sell your work. If you read a book and you don't feel the emotions there, then is it really a book? So put your heart into it. You know that you've written your piece. You own it, but like you don't own it. So whenever you read in public and people are like, oh my god, this is really nice, your head can be spinning because you wrote it. But how would they know? How would they know though? They would never know. So basically, we all have to be very, very realistic with ourselves and just not get attached at all to our pieces. Your ego cannot lead. Just let your skill do the leading. Just like it was every single time. If recognition is your primary lead, ghostwriting will frustrate you. If income and mastery matter, ghostwriting will definitely free you. You can be both a credited writer and a ghostwriter. Many professionals do both. Now, the skill. This skill is for writers who want consistent income, songwriters open to collaboration, creatives who love and value structure, people willing to learn professionalism. This skill is not for people who want instant fame. It's not for people really unwilling to take directions because you cannot be doing strong edge when you're supposed to be working with your clients. That's not how it works. And um it is not for people uncomfortable with contracts or boundaries. People who are not team players, this is not for them. Now, the thing about contracts and boundaries is if your client tells you a particular thing about how they want their work to be, and then you're like, you know what, I feel no, you are not feeling anything at this point. I feel like we can go this other way, and then you try to infuse your own idea into what belongs to them. Now, see, this is completely different. If they told you to come at this at a different angle, and then you're like, okay, this is nice, but what if we do this about your this, and it comes first? For instance, someone wants to write a story about himself, and it's like, you know what, I want you to introduce with the abuse of this, that in his life, and start the story afresh. And then you're like, that's nice. But how about you introduce your this is very unreal by the way, but at the same time you can never really tell. People are like that. How about you introduce your writer first? Or just put your try to look for a reasonable excuse right now. Like a reasonable example. I just put the story of your dog. Let's start with the story of your dog. Now I understand that you're a professional, yeah. But if you're professional, you act like it. First off, there's no way you're introducing with the dog. Okay, you need to find a way to reel people in. This is if you want to write a story. You need to pick the first chapter to reel people in. Something that I want people to read the first line, and then they'll be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go deeper into this book. I thought I was going to stop at the first chapter, but I'm at the seventh chapter, and it's going really great so far. That's how you want to like reel people in. So if you're the kind of person who feels entitled and you feel like they cannot correct you, trust me, ghostwriting will frustrate you. Because whatever your client says, okay, this is what I want, this is how I want to go about this book. The only thing you're allowed to bring is your technical know-how. Don't twist the person's book. They're trying to infuse your own ideas into a book that's not yours. The only thing you're doing for your client is bringing his ideas to life. You're not trying to add your own ideas to his ideas. Okay? You're basically polishing it, you're refining it, you're bringing it to life, you're giving it that pizzazz, you know? So, yeah. Moving on. Ghostwriting operates completely differently from many creative finds. So now we're talking about how ghostwriters get clients. All right? Are we following? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Okay, so ghostwriting operates differently from many creative fields. Work rarely comes from open calls or public announcements. Instead, it moves through systems of trust, need, and recommendation. You see that connection? Emphasis on that connection. That connection is like a huge deal. Now everybody's like, okay, this is how this person writes, and then you're like, oh, that's nice, that's nice. You heard it. You're like at a meeting, and you just randomly heard someone say it, and then you want to write a book, and then you are stuck. How you have that writer's block, and that's a normal thing, by the way. So you have a writer's block, and then you're like, you know what? This person mentioned somebody. I don't know his name, but let me call him and ask him. Hey, you mentioned someone last time. You said the person wrote a book for you. How good is this person exactly? Can I have the person's number? And that's it. Now, either you're good or not, you've been recommended. So that connection is a huge deal. And honestly, we need to put ourselves out there in 2026. If you're a writer, if you're an author, if whatever initiatives you're doing, put yourself out there. Don't just say, okay, they'll come and discover me in your house. Do every single thing. All right. I know it's very reasonable to it's very reasonable to take a particular niche and harness it and develop it and be very, very good at it. But if you're very, very good at three niches, trust me, darling, post it. It is going to really, really go far because you never know which one a particular person wants. All right. Now moving on. Understanding the system prevents confusion and underpricing. Writers often struggle not because they lack the ability, but because they misunderstand how ghostwriting functions as a profession. When writers do not understand how our clients find ghostwriters, they tend to panic, accept poor terms, and assume opportunities are scarce. Clear understanding creates confidence and patience. See, this thing about it's like if you're not used to that environment, you're not used to the profession, this is your first time, stepping into the world of ghostwriting, and then you don't have a lot of clients, and then you're like, oh, opportunities scarce. Trust me, I'm not even missing words right now. Almost everybody wants a ghostwriter. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. Trust me. You have to find the person. Almost everybody wants a ghostwriter because tell me how I'm shuffling. Oh, I have a work here. I have a work here. I'm shuffling like a 9 to 5. I also want to write, and I don't want that feeling to die. See, there's one thing about writing, yeah. You write for someone once, the person doesn't have the opportunity, but then they read the book, and no matter how deep that writer's book is, you've already opened another door for imagination, like for the person. Like I can't write, for instance, now, and then I ghostwriter to help me write my book, and the person delivers, yeah, and I carry the book, and I read it, and I'm like, why didn't I think of this? I'm like, oh, I'm stressed. The next book, I'm going to use that motivation and just dig deep. You've basically given that person some kind of motivation, you've given that person some kind of feeling, hope that definitely they can do better, they can do something similar. Like that's as I said, particularly writers also. You will not feel like I'm targeting ghostwriters as something good. Trust me. Everybody is a professional once you just harness your work. Trust me. So that kind of situation, you're giving them hope. And then even if they want to write and they don't know how to write, being a ghostwriter, one of the things about being a ghostwriter, you can also do revisions. All right. So people pay for revisions. People do. Like for instance, you write a song for someone now, and the person is like, "Hi, I really like this particular thing, but I don't like this particular word there. Can you change it with this, with this, with this, with this?" That's one revision, though. That's one revision. Now that would be free because obviously you wrote the song for the person. If the person calls back like a third time and you're like, "Uncle, no, we don't do that here," you will pay because you asked me to do the work for you. You asked me to write a song for you, and I wrote the song in the way you asked me to write the song. Now you're changing the genre entirely, and you expect not to. That's like two songs. You have two songs stylishly, and you won't pay. You get so people stylishly pay for revisions, and honestly, that's perfectly fine. So people don't do it, and that's still perfectly fine. So either way, you get your money. Okay. So how clients think. Clients look for solutions, not writers. And let this sink. Like just read it again and let it sink. Clients look for solutions, not writers. Now, you can be a very, very good writer. Everybody says, okay, I see this person's post and they're like, wow, this is deep. And then I have a particular issue that does not resonate with what this person wrote. But this person is a good writer. Now, I'm not going to look at the fact that, oh, but the person is a writer. I'm going to look for somebody that has a solution to my own problem. Do you understand? Now, I want to write, for example, I want to write, yeah, and I want someone to write for me. Let's say it's a biography, but this person bases is books mainly on horror novels, gothic novels. Like you write so good, you cannot deny it. But then that's not what you need at the point. You don't need a writer. You need a solution to your own story, like maybe your biography, for example. Do you understand? So clients look for solutions, not writers. Moving on, the role of trust. Trust determines who gets hired. Now, this is a very, very big deal because if a client does not trust you, they will frustrate your life. If you don't earn their trust, they will frustrate your life. If you don't earn their trust, pricing will be very, very hard. Because when they're like, oh, I don't really trust your work, but I want to try you out. I give them a particular price that maybe you charge other people, and other people even pay more because they feel it's too small. Because trust me, there are people like that. Uh, and other people pay more because they feel small. And then this particular person is like, "Why do you charge so much? I mean, this is the first time I'm trying you out, and you're putting me like that. I don't even trust your work like that." Ha! That can be very, very hurtful. Trust me. So you need to make sure that before you work with your clients, they must see, they must earn that trust. See, make it your mission. Trust, it's going to be so easy for you. It's just going to make every single thing you say will be like hot knife slicing through butter. Like it's going to be so easy for them. They'll work well with you. Every word you give them, every idea you're going to feel like, okay, this person is actually embodying my work in a way that I want them to, and they're listening and they're paying attention and they're actually working towards it. You know, I'm going to let you work without stress. That's just it. That's just it. Now, what successful ghostwriters do differently? Hmm. This is very, 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 like I'm going to put this like straight and direct. They don't try to pass their own messages or use their own voices through the client's work. They don't. They listen, they follow instructions to the latter, no extra sauce or oversabi. You don't do that here. See, emphasis on that oversabi for real. You have a client who wants you to deliver, and then you're being, oh, you know what? But you know, I feel, see, they will not feel you. If you keep feeling them, they won't feel you again. That's just reality. So you need to stop that. You need to stop the I feel, listen, follow instructions. And if what you deliver does not sit them or does not sit well with them or does not resonate with their own idea and their own vision, then that is when you cannot be like, okay, what if we go about it this way? Not that from the start you're already like, yeah, your idea is good, but for your clients, don't do that here. That's not how we do. Okay, so we have to listen to our clients. We follow, we listen, and we follow and we deliver, and then you get paid. Okay? Clients are not only concerned about your writing ability, they are very concerned about reliability, confidentiality, professionalism, and discretion. You see, this discretion thing, let me just break it down for all of us. Most of us already know what discretion, all of us, I'm very sure all of us know what discretion means, but not a single person must hear about it. Like, you want to brag, you know, oh, I write, I'm a ghostwriter, I do this, I do that. And then you want, let's say there's a writer person, and then you're like, oh, no, don't say there's a writer person. Maybe you're like at a bar, yeah? You're sitting next to someone, the person is like, oh, I actually need a ghostwriter. I need somebody to help me write my work. Because I don't want any ghostwriter, to be honest. I just need someone to help me with my work. It's not business standard, they'll actually start breaking things down for you. But I guess people also tell people that they have ghostwriters. Now, they're like, I need someone to help me write my work, you know, it's not really flowing in handwriter's block, I don't have the time, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, oh, I'm a ghostwriter. I wrote for her. You wrote for who? You wrote for who? No, that's not how we're doing this work. You're going to have to, you're going to have to keep whoever it is you wrote for, because that already has already given you like zero. Like, you're not going anywhere with that. Because you already proved to the person that wants to ghostwriter that, oh, I cannot trust this person. Because if another person comes and then they're like, I want a ghostwriter, they're like, oh, don't go with that person. She told me she wrote for. He told me he wrote for. And then like that, God forbid the rumor goes, the message goes far and gets to the ear of the person that you actually wrote for. And then he's like, is it on a Yelp? I know that's not a thing, but you know. So do you understand? Um, can I trust this person to not tell another person or a well-known writer that wasn't the one who wrote my book? Clients will ask themselves questions like that. It is up to you to show them that you can be professional and you can definitely be confidential, because trust me, they are more concerned about all of these things. And ghostwriting involves someone else's voice and reputation. Trust often outweighs raw talent. So you can, for all you know, you might not even be as pronounced as you think, but the moment they trust you, they're like, okay, you know what? I've seen what you write. I'm okay with it. I really like it. So I want you to write my stuff. You might not be as good as you think. That's the thing about putting yourself out there. There's somebody for everybody. So you're like, I'm not so good at writing. Oh, I still feel like this and that and that. And another person sees you like, oh, that's exactly what I need. So please, this 2026 I beg and beyond. Let's put ourselves out there. Now there are three primary entry points for getting clients. There's visibility, referral, and proximity. Nearly all ghostwriting work enters through one or more of these channels, and understanding them helps writers recognize opportunities they might otherwise miss. Now, being clearly known for a specific type of writing, now I'm trying to explain visibility. Being clearly known for a specific type of writing, note that visibility does not mean constant posting. It means that when people encounter your work or hear your name, they understand what you do. Clarity is more important than frequency. Writers who present themselves clearly are just easier to recommend. Nobody likes stress. So you're like, oh, you are trying to put yourself, you're trying to pitch yourself to your clients. Now, I'm not talking about your bio on Instagram or your bio on Twitter. I'm not talking about those ones. I'm being very, very real with you. You want to pitch yourself to your clients. You're like, I write all books, all kind of books now. I write gothic, I like this, I like that. See, there's a particular way you present yourself about your writing that you get in hooked in the first instance. Then you're like, okay, for instance, now, okay, I write, you see someone that kind of has their interest centered around kids. Now, you write all books. They don't have to know that. Just be like, oh, I write children books. They're like very, very easy for me. Like, that's it. You don't have to be like, oh, I write all kind of books. Bro, anybody can write all kind of books. Anybody can. But you look at your clients, you listen to what they want. Honestly, listening in this profession is very, very paramount. You listen to what your client wants, and they're like, it sounds and it's leaning towards I want a children's book, I want this, and then you're like, okay, I actually really deal with children's book. They come very easy for me. And then they're like, oh, that's okay. You're owning that. You put yourself out there. So next time that person wants to recommend you, they won't say, oh, she writes all books. He writes all books. They'll be like, oh, she writes children's books. You should try her out. You've already put yourself out there. So you need to be very specific about the kind of niche you're going to be introducing to your potential clients. All right. I'm trying to explain referrals now. Work passed through recommendation. That's basically what referrals mean. Referrals occur when someone feels confident attaching your name to an opportunity. This confidence comes from professionalism, good communication, and consistent delivery. Referrals are common in ghostwriting because trust can be transferred from one person to another. Now, the thing about referrals is it's very, very, very easy. Once you get your first client, your client is a sucker person, because trust me, there are Karens out there and they will frustrate your life. You're like, oh, this is not even what I wanted. But it's exactly what they wanted, but they don't want to give you that satisfaction. Whether you like it or not, the way there are several kinds of customers. It's the same way there are several kinds of clients in ghostwriting. Now, I've not met all of them, but I've also had my fair share. And that's definitely the story for everybody out there. Not everybody's going to make it easy for you. It's up to you and how you handle it professionally. Because trust me, people will frustrate you. You're good, they know you are, they trust you, but because they don't want you to have the satisfaction of, oh, the work is so easy and the person did it perfectly well, and I'm not happy for that. There are people like that. Trust me, there are. And it's up to you to just be like, man. I mean, I got paid, so yeah. Like, just move on to your next client. All right. So now, if it's somebody who's really very, like, a very, very easygoing, cool client, and then you're like, I love your work. This is a person that wants to that needs a content writer, and I want to recommend you. Okay, you're just there like, oh, I mean, I thought this was going to be it for like the rest of the month, but okay, bring them in. I'm ready. I'm available. I'm open. I'm active. You know, so you just have to make sure that you make a very good mark and pick your clients. Trust me, you have the opportunity to understand if your client is going to frustrate you from the start. And it is very okay for you to decline. But if you're just starting and just need like that boost, yeah, you're going to have to like, you don't have the option of choosing at some, like in some cases. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. You don't have the options of choosing. In a situation like Nigeria now, you have somebody who's very, very mean, very rude, and then you handle the person in a way that you don't insult the person. The person feels satisfied still. But because that's their nature, yeah, if the person wants to introduce you to somebody else, the person will say, oh, I was rude to her. They'll be like, oh, she's actually really good, try out. That's how you know people actually like your work. When you make a very, very rude person, a very, very mean person, you make them compliment your work, then you know you're good to go. So if having somebody like that in your area, in your space, is putting your work out there, is making you feel noticed, is referring you well, then trust me, you're good to go. You're doing very, very well. Now, proximity refers to physical, professional, or social closeness, and this could be workplaces, creative communities, concerts, churches, mosques, listening parties, academic spaces, or business circles. So where you feel, oh, I'm in my room, I can like decide not to go anywhere and still get a job. I mean, yeah, you could be lucky, but then you cannot tell me that you're not online. You can't tell me that you're not in groups, because how do you want anybody to know you're a ghostwriter if you don't talk about it? So definitely, well, you don't have to be in like physical places to say, but definitely you're in group chats, you're in communities, you're letting them know your skills, and then you're advertising yourself. So if you're inside and you're being delusional, you're like, oh, I'm going to get clients, all I have to do is just stay inside and do absolutely nothing. We both know that's not going to happen. Clients will not come and fall from heaven. Ignore all those movies that you've watched, they're not real. Okay. All right, moving on. Proximity increases visibility. Referrals increase trust. Ghostwriters who receive steady work usually benefit from more than one channel at the same time, even if they are not consciously aware of it. So basically, you receive steady work. Like they're bringing, like you get clients, like, and you're like not even aware of the fact that you're getting lots of clients. It happens. So you're just like, oh, I'm working, I'm writing, and then at the end of the maybe week or month, you sit down, you talk, you think about the number of people that have patronized you, and you're like, oh, that's actually a lot, and then you're like, you have that moment of realization, just made a thing. Now, what ghostwriters do differently, and why talent is not enough. Talent without clarity will definitely bring struggles, as many talented writers struggle because they cannot explain what they offer or how they work. Clients need to understand quickly whether you're the right fit, and they can't do that if you don't know if you're the right fit. So if somebody wants to, like, I've started a similar example. Somebody wants to hire a children's book ghostwriter, and then you're like, oh, I can write several books, I can write. You're not even confident about yourself. That's the kind of way you're going to sound about how you write, that it wouldn't sound condescending, it wouldn't sound supercilious, it wouldn't sound mean, it wouldn't sound like you're being proud or you're looking down on them. But then you're at the same time you're putting your foot on the ground, you're like, I know what I do and I'm good at it, without sounding so mean. And that's the instance I cited. I wanted a good a children's writer, but I couldn't find any. And like, oh, I actually work with children's books. And then they're like, oh, really? And then you're like, yeah, I have some samples. Like, that's it. Like, you don't have to yell, oh, I can do this. Oh, I do that. It doesn't have to be aggressive. Nobody wants to work with an aggressive person. That's stressful. Unless the person is very energetic, and you definitely have to match with. See, in this situation, you're an actress, you're a writer. You're an actor, you're a writer. Because the person is a very energetic person, you're just like, meh. We don't do meh for clients that are energetic. You need to meet them in the middle. You need to balance that energy out. You need to give them the vibe that they're giving you. Now, somebody who's meeting a ghostwriter who's super energetic, you have to tone it down. Because whether we like it, we need our clients to come back. And they will not come back when they find out that you're not giving them what they want. So, yeah. Many talented, okay, I already said that. Clarity creates confidence in the client's decisions. It creates even more confidence in a ghostwriter's work. That confidence that you can deliver flawlessly was created by clarity. What successful writers do differently, apart from being understandable, dependable, you know, perfect when it comes to writing, flawlessly good. Successful ghostwriters communicate clearly, they respect deadlines, maintain confidentiality, and understand the client's voice. Take, for instance, now you're supposed to go for a particular physical meeting with a potential client, and you're there 5 minutes late. Until you're like, oh, I'm on time. But the client's already sitting down. Honey, you're late. That's already terrible first impression. That's a very, very bad first impression. Now, we're not talking about physical lateness here, but that already gave you like demerits. You want somebody to trust that you can deliver. If somebody tells you, okay, your work is ready, I want my work to be ready by today's what? Today's Saturday. I want my work to be ready by Tuesday. And then you're like, if they will not be ready, let them know. That's definitely a thing. Let them know. Tell them how you can work around it. Oh, I have clients that give me their work earlier, so that will not be easy for me. Blah blah blah. And if they still want to go ahead, wonderful. If they don't, still wonderful. Point is, you're living on a clean slate and you already clarified them. That's different. But then the person not texting you Wednesday morning, Alpha now, where's my work? And then you're like, oh, well, oh, my phone died, my laptop had it. Ha! No. You always need to find a backup. There always has to be a backup. So things like this don't happen. Now, take me for instance, if I want to write a book, I'm sending it to my friends, and I'm not even lying. Trust me, I can like call them at that step. I'm done with my book. I'm sending it to my friend. I'm sending it to my laptop. I'm sending it to my mom. I'm sending it to my dad. I'm sending it even people that I don't know. Just because what happens when my phone, when like everything goes, God forbid my laptop gets fried, or my phone enters water. I don't understand. Anything can happen. But because you sent it to those particular people that you can vouch for, by the way, not the ones that will say, okay, they're putting their phone on disappearing messages, and then you send your work to them, it has disappeared with the disappearing messages. Those ones, they are no exceptions. Okay. So basically, you just have to give it to the people that you trust. Okay, this person can keep my work for me, this person can do this for me. So I send it to my friends, my family, do the same. So you will not have an excuse. Trust me, it works a lot. And almost of the times when you even do this thing, then you will never need an excuse. But it's when you don't do it that situations like that come up, and you're like, I didn't plan for it. But if you plan for it, they almost never happen. That's just the reality of things. All right. So, what successful ghostwriters do? Oh, I already said that. Um, they don't try to pass their own messages or use their voices through a client's work. They listen. They follow instructions to the letter. No extra sauce or oversabi. They deliver and they get paid. These traits make them easier to hire over and over and over again. Now, for the last one, most opportunities don't arrive loudly, they arrive quietly. So people already feel safe recommending you. And trust me, they can't really do any of that unless you actually put yourself out there and tell them just how good you are. Show them just how good you are. You don't have to use your words to say it. Post online every single day. Not every single day if it's too hard for you, but post. Put your out there and be like, okay, I wrote this, I wrote that, I'm very proud of it. You know, do put what you do. Like I write. Like let people don't just say I write, and then where's the evidence? There's zero nothing. Like you don't have the portfolio. There is nothing to like trace back to the fact that you're a writer. You're just using your mouth to say you're like, and you're like, okay, send your work to me, and the only thing you have is a PDF. Okay, that's cool. That's really really nice. Great, even. But then, how many people are going to ask you for your PDF? You think people are going to go to Google Drive and just be like, oh, let me check the PDF? Just no, they need to see proof. They're like, what's your Insta? What's your Twitter account? What's do you have a LinkedIn profile? Do you have a I don't even know, like Fiverr, Upwork, all of that. They need evidence. Not everybody is going to sit through a 5-page PDF. Sometimes all you need to reel a person in is just one sentence. just one sentence, and you would not know. They will not. You will not. They will not know the sentence unless you actually put it online. Okay. Ghostwriting is not a chaotic industry at all. So when you think about ghostwriting, you don't think about, oh, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of chaos. If you're already a writer, or if you want to be a writer, if you already understand the basic work, the basic processes, the intricacies, it's going to come very easy for you. Even if you're not, I just want to begin, like, you just want to go into ghostwriting, it is not chaotic at all. All you have to do is to prepare your mind for reality. Do not build castles in the sky. Nobody is doing any of that here. Don't stay up there and believe that, oh, these things come easy, like you can be very, very lucky, yes, but then you will not know how lucky you are until you put yourself out there. So don't just expect, oh, I'm going to be castles in the sky, I'm going to imagine a lot of things. If I'll get my first client, is going to pay me $50,000 to write a book. Come on, be realistic. Trust me, set that realism for yourself. Like, just do yourself that favor and live in the moment and work for it. All right. It only feels chaotic when you don't understand how it works. That's why I said you must at least have a knowledge of it. Basic knowledge, the basic elements, the basic knowledge. Don't just confine yourself to one particular thing and feel like, oh, you know what, I'm getting down. And you've not like gotten, perfect, or you've not honest that skill, you've not polished that skill, and you feel like you can go there and just be, I'm going to be a great writer and this and that. There's some steps you have to take to be a writer. You need to understand how to write. Trust me, this is the truth with every single person. A ghostwriter and ChatGPT are not necessarily friends. Let's be realistic with ourselves. They are not necessarily friends. Now, the only reason that you would want to work with ChatGPT is basically what you're telling people, that you can't write without the help of AI. And before AI came, I mean, you were doing your work so perfectly well. So what happened? Things like that have to happen. You have to like question yourself and be like, okay, if I'm going to use an AI, don't depend on it. Personally, me, I hate it. When I want to do my particular work, like if I want to like write my book, is it that I use my entire, like I use my laptop and trust me, I stay at that. Me and my laptop have had staring contests for so long, and yeah, I won, obviously, yay. But but it's just better to do it that way. If you're going to use ChatGPT, maybe to garner ideas, that makes sense. But don't depend on it to write your work for you. The last book I wrote, by the grace of God, I wrote everything on my WhatsApp wall because that was the time my laptop had issues. That's why I said you should always have a backup. My laptop had issues and I had to write. I had a vision to write 5 books before the end of the year, and I didn't let anything hold me down. So yeah, make sure that you have other backups. Then also make sure that you don't build lots of castles in the sky. Like, be realistic. Mm. Once you see that work flows through trust, clarity, and proximity, a lot of anxiety disappears. You stop thinking in terms of chasing and start thinking in terms of positioning. Most opportunities don't arrive loudly, they arrive quietly through people who already feel safe recommending you. Nothing you learn today requires you to act immediately. You can let it simmer, you can think about it, and still feel like, okay, how do I go about this? But if trust me, if you really want to do ghostwriting, it's a beautiful profession. No shade to other profession. Trust me, everybody's doing great. But if you want to be a ghostwriter, this is me telling you right now. You always have that at the back of your mind, and you're like, oh, you don't know where to start. Start. Trust me, it's like a lot of money. It's like reasonable. It's easy, especially if you're already a writer. It's easy. It's reasonable. It's just fun. There is there's no limit to how far your imagination goes when helping a kind of clients harness theirs. Trust me, like you're just polishing it and just like, okay, this makes sense. But please, let's not forget, do not get attached. I'm begging you. That's a big deal. Don't get attached. Trust me, you just give yourself to work, and one will be paid, one will be unpaid for. All right. Um, Nothing. Okay, it requires you to observe more carefully. Pay attention to where your writing already exists, who already trusts your work, and what spaces you already occupy. As we continue with life, with every single thing that we do, I really hope that eventually we all get that particular market that we're looking for. And Godspeed. And I'm just begging every single person out there, if you really, 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 really serious about ghostwriting and you've always wanted like this kind of, what do I call it now? What do I call it? Like this kind of push, go ahead. I'm telling you now, go into ghostwriting. You're developing your skill that way. You're developing your writing that way, and you're monetizing it. And trust me, that's basically what you need right now. So yeah, do we have any questions? We have 1 minute to the end of the class. Do we have any questions? Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, do we have
Uh,
any questions?
yeah, it looks like
Oh,
Oluwapelumi.
Oluwapelumi has raised her hand. Okay.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you so much for this opportunity and for the, I'll call it a lecture. It was so in depth. Thank you so much. My
You're
question is,
welcome.
based on like where we can get the jobs for ghostwriting, because most time people are always saying, oh, you have to put yourself out there, you have to do this, you have to get referrals. But what platforms what platform can I get, like, can I improve on to get my first few clients? Because most of the ways of getting gigs, like ghostwriting gigs, are through referrals. But then I need a client before getting referrals. So, what platform, social media platform, or what platform do you recommend I start with? Thank
If
you.
I'm being real, you're welcome. If I'm being very, very real with you, I wouldn't limit myself to one particular platform. Now, before I started officially, professionally as a ghostwriter, I would want to. There's this particular place somebody recommended for me, Fiverr, and another person recommended Upwork. And I realized that you have to pay a whole lot of money. But trust me, in Nigeria, now money. So you have to pay some money to access Upwork and Fiverr. Get your, I think they're called coins. And I was invested. Trust me, I was, and I paid twice. Okay, my dad helped me pay twice, and I didn't get a single. Oh god, it was bad. And I had like my proposal drafted and everything. Eventually, I had to close the accounts because I was frustrated. And then I came back home. You see, there's one thing that I'm going to emphasize for you. I'm not going to tell you to limit yourself. I won't tell you to do that, but I'm going to be very real with you. The people around you, they will need your help. Yeah, most of them won't say it until you tell them that you can offer them, a solution. So if I were you, I'd okay. There is. Oh, I have a ghostwriting class I'm hosting currently, and it's uh it's a paid ghostwriting class, and at the end, it's a 2 week paid ghostwriting class. At the end of 2 weeks, I'll be sending for 1 week straight. I'll be sending in a links. Is it links? I don't know what they're called, but like job offers, surrounding ghostwriting, video links and content writing rather. Basically, just ghostwriting niches, and I'll be sending them to the group chat as my students. But left to me, I think if you really want to if you don't mind spending money, if you don't mind, just spending a lot of because Upwork was not what it was in 2015. Okay, you have to work really, really hard to get at least one particular person to notice you, and you're going to pay money. I'd recommend Upwork for you. I didn't use Upwork because it didn't work for me, even though I paid twice. And Fiverr is just very hard for me to get through. So I think I'll just recommend you putting yourself out there more. I'll recommend you making people understand your art, making them see that you do this particular art, and making them see it. So is that okay? Is that a reasonable answer?
Yes, it is. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do you have any other questions? Okay, in the absence of questions, I am so excited to say today's class has come to a close. And I'm so happy that every single person joined. Trust me, it means a whole lot to me. And I'm very, very, very grateful. I can't wait to see everybody out there. in the big world. So yeah, that's all. Over to you, Ayla. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Honestly, I would not be able to do this without you guys, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for such an impactful session on ghostwriting. A lot of information has been shared, and I'm sure that things we can put into practice right away. So thank you, and thanks everyone for joining. We hope you join us for many more workshops and sessions. Have a good rest of your evening, and see you next time. Bye.
See you next time. Bye.